losing fish sucks, and it's happened to all of us when the fish runs around in back of the kayak and your rod hits any of the rods you might have sticking up in your rod holder. If you have a rod sticking up, look how far I've got to reach back, turn it around, got to lift this up, got to move this around, put this back, move it back around, and eventually play the fish in. Well, I couldn't put up with that. I don't like losing fish, especially the nice redfish and flounder you can get out of the Cape Fear River Basin. I'm down here south of Fort Fisher, and so I created something I call my rocket launchers. Good PVC engineering, 1-inch PVC expanding to inch and a quarter up here at the top allows me to put my rods horizontal to the kayak. Note how horizontal this is, and now when I get that fish, I can just spin him around, keep my rod tip up, and he just moves around the kayak and I can still get him. Now there's a trick to doing this right. Notice the distance I've got between my rod holders and my seat. I ended up having a piece of PVC come back out of the U so I can easily reach up here, grab my PVC that holds the rod and pull it out, and then be able to put this back in. So obviously I did not glue this piece in, but I did glue the rest of them. The reason I didn't bring it back farther is I usually have my gear right here and it would just get in the way. So very simple to make. All it is a couple straight pieces of PVC, a few elbows, a few joints, and then most important, the expansion piece out here to allow your rod holder a little more room to fit in. Most rod bases will not fit in a 1-inch PVC. You got to have at least 1 1/4 inches, and I didn't want to go up to 1.5 inches because I thought that would be a little bit too loose. Now the disadvantage to this is if you're kayaking in tight places, like back in a creek and a marsh, you've got to be aware that you've got rods sticking out over the back end of your kayak. And when I decided to make my horizontal rod holders, I still wanted to keep the vertical holders that came with my kayak in case I ever wanted to revert back. Therefore, I took care, get this out, to cut a vertical hole straight through using a hole saw. That way the rod will still fit and be held firmly in the existing container, but I've got a gap that allows me to insert my horizontal holder directly through.